Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. My name is Empress Pamela, and for the last couple of months, I've been wanting to do a series that melds my interest in astrology with my, I want to say interest. It could be borderline addiction to reality TV, specifically shows on Bravo TV. I've been watching them from whatever Real Housewives, Southern Charm, Vanderpump Rules, and some others intermingled for the last couple of years. I don't know, 10 years, 14 years. Um, you know, I like old school stuff. So, do I like new school? I guess maybe sometimes depends. But as my spiritual knowledge has evolved in my through my awakening, so has my understanding of what we watch on TV, how it affects us. Um, I want to say my interest goes even deeper and further back. So I'll be 60 this year. So back in the day, I watched MTV's Real World from the first season in New York. I think at that time I was probably around the same age as some of those folks. Um, Maybe I had just had a baby or whatever, but I would watch reality TV. I went through Survivor. Haven't watched The Bachelor or Bachelorette. I mean, my tastes have evolved along with my age and interests, but where I am now in my own journey and evolution and journey to ascension, and healing. So I'm very much into healing. I've realized, or I've come to know, how important it is that we understand our nature. So when we were born, where the stars lined up at the very moment of our birth, all has a play on our motivations, our personality, um, the choices we make. If you are interested in finding out more about yourself, so this is a journey to self discovery and self love, I will refer you to, there are many websites, but the one I used was cafeastrology.com for a free natal birth chart. You put your date of birth, place of birth, and time of birth. Now, I had to get my birth certificate in order to find out the exact time because it will make a difference. Yeah. And you are not just your sun sign, you are much more than that. So, what I want to do in this series, and I'm not sure what I'm going to call it, but today is March 20th when I'm recording this, and March 21st typically marks the first day of Aries season. So, Aries being the first sign of the astrological chart. Um, I have a reference book that I'm going to be utilizing and reading from. And I was kind of deciding, do I introduce who of our favorite Bravo reality stars are in Aries? I feel like I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to introduce what you need to know about Aries, like a brief introduction, okay? And then intermingled maybe some realizations about why they are the way they are. So we have a deeper understanding of not only the people that we watch on TV that we've grown to know and root for and love, but even ourselves or our family members or our friends, and understand what makes an Aries tick. So I have my degree is in psychology. I've always been interested in what makes people tick, what happens when you mix people together in a group, and how they interrelate with each other. Hence, my interest in things like the real world, real housewives, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's a long introduction, but you get the gist, right? So a couple months ago, it this idea hit me, which we'll call my intuition. I was like, I know that there's some significance of how people communicate on these shows with each other, and why some housewives get along better than with others, and so on. And it comes down to, in my opinion, astrology, numerology, their life path, all that kind of stuff is like the core of who they are, right? So I'm going to show you some notes about Aries. And these are all housewives from different series, but this morning I added Patricia Altschul from Southern Charm. And she's the only Aries on that show, which is interesting. April 16th. So let me just say, I'll try to do it in sequence. So March 21st, 1979 is, you would be considered on the cusp. And Melissa Gorga is on the cusp. Depending on her time and place of birth, we can understand whether she favors more of Aries personality traits, or maybe she's still considered a Pisces. I've always liked Melissa. I would see her more as a Pisces water sign, but maybe she steps into her fire, depending on the situation. Okay, next, March 22nd, Elizabeth Lynn Vargas, who was a Real Housewife of OC, for like one season. I think she made an appearance in a later season. Okay. March 25th, Shannon Storms Bador. You either like her or you don't. And one of the reasons why her and Vicky got along so well when they first were introduced, who Vicky Gumbel's in, is March 27th. And I love Vicky. I don't like how she operates all the time, but I like her business acumen and her drive. Those are two things that I enjoy about Vicky. Yeah, they said, "Oh, you're Aries, I'm Aries too. We'll be best friends for life." So that's pretty cool. So Vicky is March 27th, Shannon's March 25th. Then I've got Peggy Tanous, who I believe she was a Real Housewife of the OC. March 31st, Robin Dixon, Potomac. She's no longer on the show, but I kind of liked her. I don't watch Potomac really anymore, but I used to back in the day when it first came out. And I kind of liked her. Let's see. Okay, now the April Aries. And I will say, so there's usually 3 deacons within a sign. There's 3 deacons, and it's split into 3 different types. Those are deacons. So one Aries does not make another same area. Aries, it could depend on the time, the date, the time, the deacon that you are in the Aries sign. that's getting further in depth into astrology, which this is only meant to be like a introduction. April 4th, which was my grandfather's birthday, 4-4. I love it. Angel number. Joyce Gerode, or Garode. Joyce, I guess, yeah, she was Beverly Hills. I liked her. She was married to her husband, I think, was German. She was interesting. I don't see her like I wouldn't see her as an Aries, but I guess if you got her mad, she would act like an Aries. Fiery is what I mean. Ah, April 9th, Margaret Josephs. She's an Aries. Okay. Um, April 10th, Rachel Fuda, New Jersey. So Margaret Josephs and Rachel Fuda are Real Housewives of New Jersey. I guess I don't know. I don't know much about Rachel Fuda. I kind of liked her. Let's see. April 12th, Claudia Jordan, who lasted maybe a season or two on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was nice. I didn't have any problem with her. Um, Look at April 16th. So I mentioned Patricia Altschul, who is Southern Charm. She is the matriarch of Southern Charm. Aries, I would say yes, definitely. She's beautiful, a leader, headstrong. Yeah. Now, on the same date, about 36 years later, Jennifer Aiden. 36? Yeah. Jennifer Aiden, April 16th. She's an Aries. And April 17th, Heather Thompson. Real Housewives of New York. Not an OG, but not a newbie. I could see her definitely as an Aries. So, what do I mean when I say I can see her as an Aries? What is an Aries? Let's find out more. The resource I'm using is the Little Book of Astrology by Marian Williamson. Thank you, Marian, for your beautiful insight into each of the astrological signs. So, little tidbits that you need to know, or if that is interesting. Aries is a fire sign. Fire signs are enthusiastic, spontaneous, active, and quick. I think I'm going to leave that in front of you so you can. Ooh, I don't want to burn that. When I read the description, maybe it makes sense. Enthusiastic, spontaneous, active, and quick. Okay. Aries, the celestial body. Each sign corresponds with a particular area of the body, starting at the head with the first sign Aries and ending at the feet with the last sign Pisces. Aries is the head, face, and eyes. Okay. Aries, the ram, March 21st to April 20th. Aries people are brave, headstrong, and a little bit childish. They love an adventure and charge at any obstacles in their path. They have a restless, vibrant energy, and their enthusiasm is hard to resist. The Aries' determination to succeed is legendary and makes them natural-born leaders. Rams are independent creatures, and at work, they like being the boss. Because they're the ones usually making the rules, they can find it a little difficult to take orders from people in authority and will be determined to get to the top of their chosen profession. Your typical Aries is a spender rather than a saver, preferring short-term excitement to careful budgeting. And They tend to display the same dislike of commitment in relationships. Aries are passionate and fall in love easily. Their natural spontaneity and honesty make them easy to trust because they always wear their heart on their sleeve. Best character trait, courage. Element is fire. Ruling planet, Mars. General characteristics, assertive, spontaneous, impatient, and the body part is the head. Why is Aries the first sign of the zodiac? It may seem strange that the zodiacal calendar begins in March, but the reason for this dates back to ancient Rome, when March was the first month of the year. It was changed to January by Julius Caesar in 46 BC. Coincidentally, Aries is ruled by the planet Mars in astrology. Mars was the Roman god of war, and this is how the month of March got its name. Late March heralds the vernal equinox and the start of spring, a time for new beginnings. That is today when I'm recording this. It's the vernal equinox. So does any of this resonate, do you think, with either the personalities here that are Aries or people in your life or yourself? Let me know in the comments. And I'm probably going to do this in order. So my next video will be about Taurus. So rising sign. Should we find out about Aries rising? And this is where you need to pull up your natal chart to understand where all the planets were at the time of your birth. Okay. Why is your rising sign important? If your sun sign is your core personality, your rising sign is your own self-image, or the personality you choose to present to the world. Usually, when you meet someone at a party, you first encounter their rising sign because that's the side of their personality they're most comfortable to project. So I'm Cancer sun, but I'm Virgo rising, and I feel like, especially in the work environment, I act like a Virgo for sure. As you get to know someone better, you peel back layers, starting from the outer shell of the rising sign, through to the core characteristics of your sun sign, who you really are, through to your emotional center, your moon sign, and so on through each planetary layer. Your rising sign is the filter through which your personality is expressed, the first impression you give to others, and the mask you choose to wear. Your rising sign is your default position and describes how you deal with life's challenges. Most people identify more strongly with their rising sign than they do with their sun sign. Your rising sign is the point in your birth chart where you meet the world, and therefore it also describes your physical appearance too. Okay, let's get into it. So these are not necessarily rising, but I'll take that away for now. We're just talking about your rising. If you're Aries rising, what does this mean? The default position for an Aries rising person is to act. Their instincts are to tackle things head on, even if they are not entirely sure how that's going to work out yet. Aries rising wants to be first in line and has a fiercely independent streak. If they feel threatened, they'll charge on in there and punch the monster right between the eyes. Act now and think later has probably led to some awkward situations in the past, but their courage and disarmingly candid approach usually means they get exactly what they set their hearts on. Let me take a sip of water. Physical characteristics: rosy cheeks, noticeable eyebrows in a V shape like the Aries symbol, loud voice, and often have red hair. Okay. That's interesting. Again, these are not necessarily Aries rising, but okay. If your moon is in Aries, okay. What does it mean? What does it mean? Why are moon signs important? Your moon sign refers to the astrological sign the moon was traveling through at the time you were born. The moon takes 2.5 days to travel through each sign of the zodiac, roughly 1 month to make a complete cycle. The moon's changeable reflective nature mirrors our own instinctual and emotional responses through its different phases and conditions. Understanding your moon sign is vitally important because it provides the key to your emotional nature. You can find your moon sign from looking up your birth date in a planetary ephemeris or by looking it up online. And then she has recommendations for websites. Again, the one I recommend is cafeastrology.com. So my moon is in Pisces, but let's find out if your moon is in Aries. What does it mean? As the first sign of the zodiac, Aries moon sign people can be a little self-centered, focusing first on their own needs before working out how others will be affected. Moon and Aries people are impulsive and are fast to feel love or anger. Their emotional reactions are lightning fast, ardent, and decisive, and because they feel so strongly, so quickly, they don't often have the time to think through the consequences of their actions. Aries moon people are honest and straightforward and perhaps a little on the nose at times, with their loved ones preferring a less thoughtless approach. But when moon and Aries people feel passionate about someone or something, they give it every ounce of their passion. They have learned from character forming mistakes to hold back on their first impulses. But this is a lifelong project. Aries moon's lesson. Moon and Aries individuals should try to learn to temper their fight or flight responses and let a feeling settle before feeling the need to take action. I don't know. I feel the one that comes to mind is I feel like maybe Shannon has Aries moon in Aries. I don't know why. I just feel like that. Let's see what else we need to do. So Aries again is ruled by Mars. Mars, the element is fire, color red, herbs, plants, pine, wormwood, cypress, ginger, stones, garnet, bloodstone, red jasper. Got red jasper right here. I got that red jasper. I got red flower jasper right here. And what else? Tree, alder, ALDER. Okay. What else can I tell you or can I share with you about Aries? Okay, we're at 23 minutes. Fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are compatible with air signs. Fire signs are enthusiastic, spontaneous, and active. They get bored with too much practical planning or are uncomfortable emoting, but they learn from applying more analysis. Okay. Aries is a cardinal sign, outgoing, creative, and enterprising. And the cardinal signs are Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. Outgoing, creative, and enterprising. The opposite sign or the polarity of Aries is Libra, the self, which is Aries, versus the other, which is Libra. Okay, Aries relationships. How Aries people relate to others in love, friendship, business, and parenting. Aries in love. Aries people want someone who is as passionate and enthusiastic as they are in love. They need adventure and get bored easily. They don't want to talk about their feelings all the time, but they do enjoy an exuberant sex life and need an adventurous partner. I was thinking about Vicky and her love tank. Okay, best matches: Leo, Sagittarius, and Libra. Worst matches: Taurus and Pisces. Aries, friendship. Being friends with an Aries is never dull. Not one for sitting in front of the television or at the bar all night. These impulsive people crave excitement and need people around them to lead into the next thrilling challenge. These guys are the ones that insist everyone goes paragliding or whitewater rafting occasionally. I just see Vicky going woohoo at her favorite bar in Mexico. Best matches in friendship for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Other Aries, yep. Worst matches: Taurus and Pisces. Okay, Aries in business. Aries like to be the boss and needs people who respect them as their leader. They like to take the initiative and expect others to be open and candid with their ideas and free with their thoughts and creativity. They have oodles of respect for people who speak their mind, and they expect others to listen when they speak theirs. Best matches: Aries, Sagittarius, and Gemini. Worst matches: Scorpio and Virgo. Aries as parents. There's a childlike spontaneity. To Aries parents. I mean, like, I think of Vicky when she surprised Mike at college. And Brianna when she was on her date at like an Italian restaurant at the beginning of the series. That's funny. They understand the terror of boredom and know how to keep their offspring entertained. They're not necessarily the most nurturing of people, but they make up for it in flat out adoration of their youngsters. Best matches: Libra, Aries, Aquarius. Worst match: Cancer. Is there anything else that share? I'm going to share with you the symbol for Aries if you're not familiar. That's what they were talking about with the eyebrows. Aries. Yeah. So this is my brief introduction to Aries in the world of Bravo, reality stars, reality people. We'll figure out how to, I think what I'm going to do, the other end of this is I'm talking about Aries specifically in the housewives that fit into the Aries sun sign. And then I will highlight each specific show and talk about more of the relationships and perhaps why one doesn't get along with another. So first, let's explore the astrology and have a better understanding of each of the 12 astrological signs. And then we will delve deeper into each specific series. So I hope this makes sense. I don't know what you think. Let me know. What sun sign are you? Please leave it in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.